Let- Well, first, let's work on the educators. We need to simplify these doggone lesson plans because a teacher could spend a weekend developing lesson plans, but like Mike Tyson says, everybody got a plan until they get busting them out. So now you've sat all weekend preparing these lesson plans, and then you get in the classroom and the dynamics are totally different from what you planned for.
I'm Ricky Willis. You might have seen me on TV, and now I'm taking on the podcast world. Join me as we dive into stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. I believe everyone has a story we can learn from. Let's talk about yours. This is the Clever Conversations podcast. What's going on, baby? It's your man, Clever. Clever Conversations, you already know. And today I have the absolute pleasure of being joined by one of Savannah's greatest, Coach Gordon.
Hey, this is just like being in the living room, comfortable, watching a good basketball game. What's up, Rick?
What's up, babies? Listen, man, Coach, man, first I want to tell you thank you of giving her your time. I know you're busy. You got a lot of stuff going on, but thank you for taking your time out and coming chopping up with your boy, man.
Well, you know, Rick, you're always worthy of my time. And from day one, you've
A1 from
always
day
treated
one,
me
baby.
like family. So
Yeah,
I appreciate you.
Listen, I appreciate you. I know you're busy. So we're going to get into it. Can we get into it?
Let's get to it.
We're going to get into it. Can we get into it?
Let's get to it.
So, Coach, I have the pleasure of knowing you personally. But if I can trouble you to let the people know a little bit about who Coach Gordon is.
Well, I've gone through various phases in my life, from childhood, growing up in the Bronx, and to the point where I transitioned into the South, going to South Carolina State, which HBCUs, I love you, because for a person of my type of upbringing, HBCU afforded me an identity. Then from there, I got into teaching, actually through the side door. But that was probably one of the most rewarding careers that I've experienced. And now that I'm retired, I'm on this legacy building tour. So that's a synopsis of where I am in my life right now, Rick.
I love it, man. I love it. So, Brooklyn?
Nah, Bronx.
The Bronx.
Actually.
The Bronx.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So how was life growing up in the Bronx? When did you leave? Like, when
Well,
was the transition?
Let me go through the childhood portion. I guess before high school, I grew up on 112th between 8th and 7th. And so I went to PS 113, and then a couple of blocks over was my junior high school, which was Wadley. And then once I'd gotten into my teenage years, I went to DeWitt Clinton High School in the Bronx. Most people know DeWitt Clinton High School for its athletics. And at that time, it was all boys. The all-boy experience was unique in the sense that we didn't have the distraction during the course of high school having girls around.
Yeah.
We focused on sports exclusively. The most notable alum would be Tiny Archibald, Steve Shepard, Butch Lee, who actually I played in the backcourt with, and he ended up going to Marquette and winning the national championship in '77. But Butch was special. I wasn't on his level or even close to it, so I wanted to make sure that I make that clear.
So, that was high school?
Yeah.
Okay. And did we stay up north until after high school, or?
No. As a matter of fact, once I hit 17, I left to go to South Carolina State. And in all actuality, I was really recruited by a guy named Ben Job. But when I got there, Ben Job had left with his star player to go to the University of South Carolina. His star player at that time was a guy named Tom Boswell. And so, I got caught in the transition, in addition to the fact that I really wasn't mature when I got to South Carolina State as a 17-year-old. And so I subsequently got to state, and I thought it was one big party.
Right.
Ended up losing my eligibility and ended up having to pay my way through college until, of course, I couldn't pay no more and dropped out and went to the Navy.
Okay.
But, I mean, that was my reality, being at a HBCU. It wasn't always like life for me wasn't always a crystal stair. It was that part.
And the reality too, Coach, is that it's a lot of people out that's listening that had that similar experience. Because some people could look at like HBCUs and oh, it's college, it's perfect. But you just said something profound that I got, and that was, I thought college was the party.
Oh yeah.
I know I'm not with my parents right now. I know that I just want to wild out a little bit.
Exactly.
And also the transition from no women to women to women.
Yes, sir.
And so I'm sure that those distractions was a part of it. And people need to hear your story because it's a lot of people who experience and or is currently experiencing that or who's coming up. You know, you got a lot of high school students that's getting ready to go into something and they don't really understand that this next step. See, you're in college. Mom and dad not babysitting you.
No.
In college, the teacher's not calling your house, hey, Ricky is not in school today. In college, you have to put in the work.
Yeah, it's autonomous. It's an autonomous circumstance. And one of the things that I would certainly say is, like I indicated before, I ended up dropping out of college. So when most people hear, well, you went in 73, but you graduated in 85, in their mind's eye, they're thinking, darn, it took you 12 years to get through undergrad. But in all actuality, I spent 5 years in the Navy. And then when I gotten out of the Navy, I ended up going back part-time in order for me to finish my degree, which I actually majored in biology and minored in chemistry.
Come on.
Yeah, true story.
Come on. So, what you playing basketball?
Yeah.
What position were you?
Well, I was pretty much a combo guard. Most people that know or remember when I've ever played, I played combo guard. I liked to pass, but I also could fly.
Woo.
I could handle the balls. I just couldn't shoot. But most people, most of us, they grew up in New York. None of us were really great shooters because the wind was blowing our jumpers. So we're going to shake you and get to the cup.
And so how was it growing up in the streets of New York, the Bronx, and wintertime, and we playing pickup games? How was that?
Oh, my goodness. Look, we played in the snow on the playground when your hands couldn't even feel the ball.
And if you slip?
If you slip, I got the battle scars. But also, during the summers was great because we played in many tournaments, the Citywide, the Whitney Young, the Brevoort down in Brooklyn. Then I had the pleasure of being able to play in the GOAT tournament, which was on Avenue of the Americas. So some summer days you could play as many as 5 games in one day.
Wow.
But we'd hop on the train, go to our next destination, get off, hoop, jump back on the train, go to the next destination. But that was my life as a child in the Bronx, in addition to some of the other things that could easily have taken me off the rails growing up. Seriously.
Yeah, 'cause life it was real. The concrete jungle, it's not a fake thing. That's a real thing.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
And I've been through all of the real experiences. And as much as some people would like to say that their life was idyllic and it was a perfect blend of parenthood and growing up as a child and not seeing the dangers out there. I saw them all. I saw them all. Been part of them. But that's my reality.
Yep. And that also shows that you can grow up in that arena, if you will. You can grow up around that and still come out
On the other side,
different. Yeah, you
Oh,
could come
yeah.
out on. You could come out of it and take those. So I'm pretty sure that some of those experiences, good, bad, and different, you still hold today because they brought you to who you are.
Let me tell you, Rick, I, even as an adult, have had adverse experiences that I've gone through and have come out on the other side much better. So I guess the early experiences of that transpiring in my life kind of prepared me a lot for what I was to experience later on in my life.
Come on now.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah. So, as the basketball player, while you're playing in these tournaments, ever played with any celebrity players or played against any celebrity players? I just feel like in New York you have a lot of players that was coming up and that came out and played on the park and, just that kind of stuff. I'm not sure, but...
I can safely say I've witnessed. I didn't get a chance to play with Pee Wee Kirkland or with Joe Hammond or those playground legends, but going to the Rucker, it afforded me a chance to see these guys. I mean, actual playground legends play. One guy I did play with, his name was Leroy Shaw. And at the time, we used to think, oh, he just was a ball hog. He always wanted us to pass him the ball. But in retrospect, he was one of the playground legends also. And another guy that I played with, he was just a magician with the ball. I mean, I like Kyrie, and I love all the things that he has the capacity to do with the basketball. But there was a guy that I went to school with named Arnold Duggar. That was at DeWitt Clinton High School. He was a real magician with the ball. I saw this man break a press by himself, and he waved everybody off. I mean, he waved everybody off, and he started to dance with the ball through a press. And at the end of his dance, he dished it off to the forward, who was Steve Shepard at the time. He ended up playing for Maryland. Steve caught it. Bang. I mean, it was just a thing of beauty that I was able to witness. So New York basketball, there were so many great players whose names I can't even call today, that there are some historians that could easily remember them all.
Man.
Yeah, true.
So as a child, before you actually got into it, you used to go to the park and like the Ruckers and different parks and watch people play.
Oh, yeah.
Is that where you picked up a love for the sport, or is it Pops played or somebody else played and you like,
No, it was just a city game. As a matter of fact, when I was real young, I really was good at baseball. I could really play baseball. It's a funny story. I remember going to Yankee Stadium when I was very young. And, you only had to pay 75 cents to sit in the bleachers. And I would sit in the bleachers. Guess whose names was on the back of the jerseys? I would see in left field, Tom Tresh. In center field, Mickey Mantle. And in right field, Roger Maris. On first base was Joe Pepitone. Second, Bobby Richardson. Third base, Clete Boyer. And the shortstop had to be a transition between Bobby Richardson and there was another guy whose name I can't remember. The pitcher was Whitey Ford and the catcher was a guy named Elston Howard. I used to love the Yankees then. And so we all played baseball. But then I got taller and, I used to see the guys playing. As a matter of fact, Earl Manigault used to play at PS 113 playground around the side of the building. And, we watch them playing ball, but we were baseball players.
Right.
But then after a while, we just started gaining a love for basketball. Ended up on the playgrounds just hooping,
Yeah.
And the one thing about my junior high school, at Wadley, it used to be in a pit. So that means you had to climb over a wall and then jump down into a pit. And the only way you could get out the pit was you would have to run up the wall and grab onto the suspension where the backboard was to climb out.
Wow.
Yeah, that's Wadley. It's IS 88. In New York, they're called intermediate schools.
Okay.
Down here, they call them middle schools or junior high schools. But
Okay.
yeah, those were childhood experiences that, I mean, unmistakable.
Needless to say, if you were highly challenged, you couldn't get in the pit because you can't get out
No,
the pit.
yeah, you couldn't get out. You would
Help
have
me.
You would have to actually have somebody help you, or somebody would hold on to the gate, and
let
then
you
they would
climb up
grab.
there?
Yeah, you'd have to climb up on their legs and pull yourself up, or they would have to help pull you up. But after a while, we were able to, because the wall had a little slant to
Right.
it. So we run, hit that wall, 1, 2, grab that suspension, then climb out. So, yeah, it was a unique experience as a youth.
Listen, I'm over here smiling like I was there. It just feels fun.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot lie. My childhood was a blast.
I love it. What, from your childhood memories, what is one of your funniest or most memorable times from childhood? No matter what it was.
Well, I remember during the summer, what we would do is, because I stayed on 112th Street, so around the corner on 111th Street was the train station. And what we would do during the summer is we'd sneak on the train and ride to Coney Island. Well, one day we snuck on the train. We climb under the turnstile, just jump the turnstile to get on the train. And the transit cop came out of the office. They would sit in the office waiting for,
People to jump
turnstile.
us.
Yeah. And so they chased us. And we came out the other exit of the train station. And so from 111th Street, they tried to chase us and corner us. We ran on 8th Avenue to 112th Street, went into one building, and we went to the 6th floor. We jumped the alleyway to the next building, went downstairs into the basement, through the backyard, and we were standing on 7th Avenue watching the police as they was trying to find us in the building. And, for us,
That's
we
fun
didn't
stuff.
we didn't realize the danger that we was in because we were kids.
Yeah.
And
danger of the cops and danger of the jumps, too.
in addition to we in condemned buildings.
Yeah.
And so a floor could have given away at any time on us, but we were kids.
And we were having fun.
We were having fun.
Any of your are you still really close or with anybody that you went to?
You know what? That's the sad part. All of my childhood friends in New York, I think I only have one. And he happened to have gone to Claflin while I was at South Carolina State. He's still living in New York. We call him Little Rock. His name is Kenneth Thomas. He's still around 110th Street. No, he's the only one. Everybody else has either traversed the globe, gone to other places, or have died off.
Right.
And really, I guess the most salient event was when heroin hit Harlem.
Yeah.
Because all the older dudes that we looked up to and taught us how to play baseball, they were all of a sudden dying off from hepatitis. And all of us couldn't understand, why was Tinker, Tommy Johnson, or another kid named Gravy, why were they dying? It wasn't until we got a little older and found out that they were sharing needles and shooting heroin. and then they were dying from hepatitis as a result.
A lot of people see like the New Jack City,
Right.
the Bumpy Johnson stuff. A lot of people see that, and to a lot of us, and I'm gonna add myself in that, it is a television show or it's a series. But sound like you were actually there to see the reality of that.
I've lived it. I truly lived it. As a matter of fact, my father, he never worked a day in his life, just like the song Papa Was a Rolling Stone.
Right.
Yeah, that was Buddy Gordon. But he was my hero. He was a great role model for me
Right.
growing up. I didn't know what his hustle was, but I always knew I had everything that I wanted, everything that I needed as a child.
Yeah.
And, you know, it wasn't until I'd gotten older that I realized, you know, that my father was actually a hustler. Even in the scheme of things with the Nicky Barnes, not the Bumpy Johnson, because I think Nicky came like on the back end of that.
Okay.
But, you know, I lived in Harlem where the hustlers were.
You ever did you ever growing up? Did you ever get a chance to see any of them?
No.
Okay.
No. My
They
father
wasn't like really just walking around like okay.
No,
see,
they
again, for me,
moved,
I see on TV.
They moved differently. Differently.
In silence.
Even though they may have been flashy, they wouldn't allow for the little kids to be exposed to that.
And just the thought of that is, I don't necessarily have to respect the hustle, but I respect the respect that you show in the children. Because a lot of people don't care what the children are exposed to. Even like when we talk about today's music,
Okay.
a lot of it is not really caring about what the children. It's
I know.
like, I think we should get back to the time where there was a message. Like music was put out to help, not necessarily to tell us how good you are laying down or none of that stuff. But that's all it is now, a lot of it, for the female side of it, for me.
Oh, yeah. That's the part that's most hurtful to me. The disrespect that's shown, especially towards African-American females. But I can safely say, like, let's just use, for example, I know in my neighborhood, if something was about to happen, they sent me home because I was playing ball.
Right.
And
you don't
so-
need to be around this.
You're right. So whatever dirt was going to go on, I couldn't be a part of
They
that.
made sure you stay sheltered from that.
Yeah. And
Respect, too.
Yeah.
They respected
yeah.
you.
But I still see evidence of it in our communities today. It's just that some of us are scared really to go into our own communities. I'm going to just be honest. You know, even some of my contemporaries in coaching, they don't take the ride through these communities to check on their players. And if they do, you know, the times that they go aren't the times that those kids are going to be out,
Right.
you know. But, I mean, I don't fault them. Hell, now these rappers that's wearing all the jewelry and making all the money, they have to move differently because their own neighborhood will take all of that from them.
They will take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I understand it.
Yeah. What you're doing a lot in the community for is helping the children and the students and that. When did that get set on you? When did you decide, you know what, I want to help these children do this? When did that?
You know what? I don't think that there was an actual start. It was almost, there's no line of demarcation where I decided, all right, let me start helping these kids. I think when I got into teaching and the relationships that I built with my students over the years, it just, it just became that. And then, my students became adults, but younger students came behind them. And so I was able to do some networking to a degree. And so that was always a big help. But I didn't really make any concerted effort to say, all right,
I'm gonna do this.
yeah. It just
Sound
evolved.
sound like from day one you've been kind of like life has been grooming you for it. Life has been grooming you for these moments that, like you said earlier, are later to come.
Yes, especially now. And Big Rick, I gotta admit, I'm so looking forward to 2025 because I have so many things that I'd like to do, and now I'm virtually in a position to be able to do these things. And so, for me, it's like really rewarding. It's good for me to go to games to see what teams I may potentially have to participate in the Savannah Hoop Shootout. It's good for me to go to various community events to see my constituency now doesn't just involve students alone. Now I got to consider the golden age folks, of which I'm part of that constituency. So I just got so many things that I want to do. And with the help of the city of Savannah and the Savannah-Chatham County Board of Education and the Chatham County Commission, I think the things that I can potentially bring forth to the community can come to fruition. So I'm looking forward to 2025.
Well, I am. Please, please, please make sure, if anything, Clever Conversations podcast can be a part of. If you have something come out and you want to get some information, please make us your home.
Hey, Rick, like I said, man, I came to visit you, and it's just like sitting on my couch, just chilling, man. We having a conversation.
We chopping it up, baby.
Absolutely. That's why when I saw on the door Clever Conversations, I knew I was in the right place.
Yes, sir. That's it. So let's talk a little bit about the transition from you got your master's in
education,
right? But then you also have you did a minor in biology, and
majored in biology, minored in chemistry, undergrad.
How did that work coming from basketball into that, or was it something that you were doing the whole time? And
it actually was something I was doing the whole time. I got into education, I guess, through the side door. It was an alternative certification program in South Carolina. And so being a professional biology major with chemistry minor, I never took teaching courses. The specifics of pedagogy and the study of childhood behavior and things of that nature. I had to be taught those things, but really I didn't have to be taught them. It was just a natural thing for me to go into a classroom and to be able to relate to kids. And I never really realized how much I actually learned as an undergrad, because at South Carolina State, my instructors were so hard on me. I failed a number of classes. I mean, inclusive of but not limited to chemistry and physics, of which I ended my career teaching. And the beauty of it is that for all the times that I thought I couldn't understand this information, it wasn't until I started teaching that I really gained a grasp of all the things that I actually had learned. I just didn't realize I was learning it. In addition to the fact that, I got to give this instructor of mine, Dr. Isabel, so much credit. He was my chemistry instructor. I just always thought the man didn't like me. But once I started teaching chemistry, I started saying, hey, this is stuff Dr. Isabel had taught me. And then I need to make mention of the fact that I've taught all of the sciences, from astronomy to zoology, everything in between, anything curriculum-wise that you can imagine, I taught in the area of science.
Excuse me. So, during that process from A to Z,
Right.
which one, did you enjoy most? Because I'm sure you enjoyed a lot of it, but which one of A through Z did you enjoy most? And which one from A through Z do you feel like your students picked up on or was more popular, this?
Easily, it was biology.
Okay.
And the reason I say that was because there was a time in the curriculum when in biology, you can dissect everything from the earthworm to the fish to the shark to the cat. I just dissected everything, and a lot of it was comparative anatomy. And so they used to, the girls at first would, I don't want to touch that. And then once they started fooling with it, they started gaining an affinity for it. And that was the most fun. But recently, the curriculum has changed the extent to which biology is no longer something that you can go into and engage in dissection with. It's more of a biochemistry type of biology, which is purportedly from the Department of Education preparing students for college. But everybody's not going to college. And so I don't understand this push by educators to get yourself ready for college when I know many people who have thrived with the dirt under their nails, repairing cars. And see, those are classes they don't have anymore, like shop.
Yeah. We were just talking about that earlier today, too.
Yeah,
those are necessary things for people to know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But, education has taken such a paradigm shift. And I don't know whether or not we as educators or our students are ready for that shift to that degree yet. And that takes me to another point. Let's just say with coaching. When I first started coaching here in '88 at Beach High School.
Bulldogs for life, baby.
Okay.
That's my year, 88.
The thing about it was there's a handbook. It's called the Georgia Bylaws and Constitution. Or Constitution, I should say, and bylaws. The same principles in '88 are applicable to 2024. But family dynamics have changed drastically. How are you going to use these ostentatious rules for family dynamics of today and hold students accountable for
to the 88?
Yeah, to things that were going on in '88. And so there needs to be a change, but I don't even know if the representation has the spine to approach that, what I call a good old boy network that's in Georgia High School.
And that's crazy because it's about the children. And it is so crazy that some of the same, like you said, the dynamics that was there in '88, we're trying to use today. Today is a whole different time.
Hey.
In '88, we had phone books.
Okay.
You could, if you put a phone book in front of some young people today.
Hey, we had payphones. Remember
payphones?
Remember Beach had the payphone right by the exit.
Yep. Payphones. They used to be on a lot of corners, about a lot of bodegas, a lot of stores.
Okay.
They wouldn't know what that is now.
No. I don't even think people would know how to use a phone book, let
Does
alone
it take
the
my,
yellow page.
Does it go by Apple Pay? Like, how do I make this phone call?
Yeah.
So, if you were able to make any change in the curriculum for the educators, what do you think your main? Because I'm sure with you teaching for years, you've seen a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
changed a lot of stuff up, a lot of stuff down. What do you think needs to be a curriculum that is for our students that is not there or that is kind of fading away?
Hey, well, first, let's work on the educators. We need to simplify these doggone lesson plans because a teacher could spend a weekend developing lesson plans, but like Mike Tyson says, everybody got a plan until they get busting them out. So now you've sat all weekend preparing these lesson plans, and then you get in the classroom, and the dynamics are totally different from what you planned for. So just to simplify those, to allow for our students to be more interactive, since you have all this technological devices that exist, and I tell you what, the phones could be a great teaching tool if used properly, but you got to have management skills also. But look, my grandkids can run rings around me just on the simple phone. I go to them to get advice on use my phone. And so, look, let's just simplify these lesson plans and these expectations. You got a lot of stuff that y'all are asking for. But then when y'all walk into the classroom to see evidence of such, you don't see it because it's too difficult for our instructors to be able to execute.
Yeah.
And then, just the building the relationships. Hey, why don't you have assemblies in school anymore? When the students have to come dressed up on one day and go into the auditorium and have someone come and speak to them about their day-to-day lives and how they go about their business. I remember having assemblies where Nikki Giovanni would come in and, speak poetry to us as kids in school. But, here, I guess society is moving so fast that we don't have time to plan for these things. So,
and I feel like that is the way things are. It makes it unfair to a lot of people. It makes it unfair to the underprivileged because you have to deal with trying to learn this stuff quick and doing whatever you got to do without the actual resources to be able to do it. Everybody can't afford a computer at home. Everybody can't afford. I got 5 kids. I can't buy iPhones for all 5. You know what I mean? So
I know what you mean.
I think some of that stuff is should be considered too.
And I want to just make another point. After COVID, we didn't take the time to re-socialize our kids. We brought them back to school and jumped right into the curriculum. And by that time, they've been in isolation. They haven't really garnered any sense of their social identity and how to interact with one another. And so having rap sessions, if a kid were to come to an assembly and just to see you walk into an auditorium, Rick, do you know how profound an impact that would be for them? And I'm being honest. Them kids would be riveted because you are a personality that they see and now they can touch. A lot of things that exist for our kids are so abstract that they can't really get a good sense of it because they can't really put their hands on it.
It don't feel real to them.
It don't feel real to them. Hey, even Mike. For Mike to walk into an auditorium and talk to some about, hey, you can pursue law.
Yeah.
You might have 1 or 2 kids that could reach. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so, but I think some of our local officials could be best served just by being more accessible.
Yeah.
Just let the kids see you in the schools walking through.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to be going any place in particular. Walk in the cafeteria, sit down, have some lunch with them.
And it's uplifting to some of those people, again, to see somebody look like you come in wearing a suit, to see somebody look like you getting the respect of your teachers,
Okay.
to see somebody look like you knowing that that person got some kind of power, like, yo, that's huge.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge, Rick, you know. But then I feel badly because, you know, with our societal dynamics, the schools have virtually become a fortress. In other words, you just can't go and visit a school.
You
know?
cannot. You need 2 forms of ID, the blood from your firstborn.
Okay. Hey, look, this is going to sound funny, but do you know what my resolution is for this year? Part of my bucket list?
What is it?
To meet my superintendent of schools, Dr. Watts. I've yet to meet her.
Really?
Yeah, true story. And so this year, I've resolved myself to just, whether it be formal or informal, have that to check off. I'd like to meet my superintendent. I've had a relationship with all my superintendents in the past, and so it feels strange to me to not have met her.
Would you consider that, or would you attribute that to the busyness? Would you contribute it to sometimes people just not really interested in meeting the public because they've kind of focused on whatever they got to do, or you contribute it to?
I can't be critical of what the reasoning is. I just know that, you know, she's a steward of thousands of our kids.
Thousands of our children.
And these are the same kids that I, you know, as a recreation commissioner, service.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to have a relationship with Savannah Chatham County Board of Public Education, because if they can't participate in the schools, these kids participate out of school. They still the Dr. Watts kids.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, I like to meet my superintendent.
You know what? you just, I want to try to meet her this year too. 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it just makes sense.
Yes.
And sometimes
absolutely.
just picking their brains and talking with them, it just makes sense. Plus, what you're doing in the community for the children, plus her position, if like, how could it not make sense?
Yeah. Yes. You know, and it would make it easier for me to be able to accomplish the things that I seek to accomplish, just knowing that I could have the support of the superintendent and even the school board, of which I know quite a the board members, but, you know, just having that backing.
Well, the thing for me is I hope she puts you on her schedule quick, because what she doesn't know that I do is when you call, people come.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
When you call, people come.
Yeah.
And your network is I like to tell people that I got more connections, but I think you got more connections than Bell South and AT&T.
Well, I've been blessed. I've been blessed. But see, then you got to remember, Rick, that comes through having taught thousands and thousands of students during my career here in the Seaport, and then even having coached or interacted with thousands and thousands through basketball, you know.
How many students would you say you had hands-on in coaching for us the basketball? Just a rough.
I'm going to say the short answer is TNTC. That's too numerous to count.
Man.
I got to tell you like that.
I love it.
And let me tell you something. I remember, and see, that's why I don't do Facebook anymore. I'll look and I'll observe, but I try to limit comments. I put out a list of the people that had impact on it started like this. I was doing a podcast and they asked me, who's your Mount Rushmore people you coached? And I called 4 names. And true, I mean, these 4 stood out. Then I thought, boy, there's 4 more that really I got to give honorable mention to. And from there, Rick, if you go to my thing, you'll see a list that's so long because I started getting, hey, Coach, wait a minute, what about me? And so now,
So I shouldn't ask the question.
No,
okay, cool.
I can't answer.
Cool.
TNTC.
Cool. TNTC. Man, but you touched a lot of people, though.
I've been blessed to do that.
So, any of your students that coming up was like giving you a hard time, or you felt like you had to work extra harder with them and whatever, and they wasn't getting it or they didn't want to get it, and then later in life they came back and was like, Coach, man, appreciate you, baby.
Yo, I could tell you one in particular.
Give us the story if you don't mind. Give it to us.
All right. I first got the job at Windsor, head coach. I'd left Beach. And at Windsor Forest then, I had a nice squad, but the star player was a guy named Bernard Johnson. They call him Showtime. Anyway, we were in practice. We having practice. But Bernard wasn't at practice. He was at Windsor Forest Community Center just hooping. And so I dismissed him, my star player. I dismissed him from the team that year, and it was his senior year.
Wow.
To this day, he says to me, that's one of the greatest lessons he learned in his life. He's overseas now, working with players and even sending some to the stateside.
Right.
But anytime he talks to me, he say, Coach, that's the greatest lesson I could have ever learned in my life. And the one thing that I knew was that the rest of the team was looking to see what was I going to do about that situation.
You let him slide. Let me see if I can.
Okay. Yeah. And that team.
And even sound like you did what you had to do so they could see what they need to do. Like, even if it meant we're going to lose this particular game, it's rules and regulations to this. It's a blueprint. And if you don't follow the blueprint, just like him, thank you, but no thank you.
Absolutely. But now this is the funniest part. Right now, the most difficult athlete that I'm dealing with, that's my grandson. God, be more careful.
What school is he?
Well, he's at Georgetown,
okay.
K through 8. And my son is coaching Georgetown K through 8.
Okay.
So I'm essentially out of retirement because I'm his assistant coach at K through 8. And man, just dealing with my grandson, because in his young mind, he's thinking I can do things just based upon what my father was able to do and what my grandfather was known to have done.
Right.
And so when I'm telling him game speed, do this, do that, he's like in another place. So now I almost have to get ignorant with him sometimes just to make a point. And so the most difficult thing is, just dealing with my grandson with basketball.
Well, he comes from some good lineage.
Yeah,
he comes from some good lineage.
Yeah, but he's on some other stuff, Rick.
How old is he?
He's 13. 13. So
big boy.
Nah,
Not yet.
he's a guard.
Yeah.
But boy, I love that team.
Yeah.
Boy, we fast. We fast.
Georgetown?
Yeah, Georgetown K through 8.
Okay. That's out in Georgetown?
Yeah, it's down in Georgetown.
I didn't even know they had a team.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know until they play us.
So what, for the coaching side of it, what was one of the craziest things that you've experienced during coaching the game, whether it was from something on your side or something from the other side? Pull the mic closer.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you. We lost in the Elite Eight. We lost in the Elite Eight to a team that I had a video go viral. And they caught me on the sideline jumping up and down. And I get to school the next day. Now, I always tell my kids, win, lose, or draw, don't miss school. Because when you wake up, the sun's still going to be shining.
Right.
And so we lose in the Elite Eight, and, you know, I'm expecting people to congratulate us on a great season. But all my kids running up say, hey, Coach, you done gone viral. Now, I don't even know what going viral is, you know. So, and then they showing me the video. But see, I'm always on the sideline active.
Right.
And I do this because I want my players to see that I'm in the game with y'all.
Right.
That's how I've always coached. So it wasn't anything out of the ordinary, except for that time, it was caught on camera.
Right.
And so I just made mention of the fact that I don't break the rules. I may circumvent them by doing the things that I'm doing on the sideline, but I'm never engaging with that opposing player. I'm never engaging with them.
Right.
I'm really engaging with my kids.
Right.
And I'm never on the court, even though some officials may beg to differ. When players on the other end, I'm probably on the court because y'all shouldn't be looking back here. Y'all should be
Down that way.
Right. So, you know, but I be having fun. Man, Rick, I have so much fun with coaching. And then I was getting paid for it. Not a lot. So don't mistake it. But I was getting paid to do something that I would have done for free, like I'm doing at Georgetown now, but having so much fun with it, just to be honest.
So from first coaching day to now, how long?
Oh, man.
30?
Yeah. Because wherever I went, even when I was being exiled from Savannah, Chatham, and I was over in South Carolina, I was coaching over there too. So, yeah, all 30 years.
Man.
I've been coaching in some capacity, somewhere. True.
During your journey, whether it was the medical side of it or the sports side of it, do you recall or do you have a story where you knocked on a door and they didn't want to let you in the door? When you needed somebody for an opportunity and they didn't.
I can
Is
tell
it something you
that.
can tell? Yeah,
absolutely. Because, hey, this is a clever conversation.
clever
right?
conversation. Baby.
That means that you asking the tough questions, and you know you're gonna hear the good with the bad and the ugly. I can recall having the right to reapply because my certificate was revoked.
Okay.
I had to reapply for my certification to come back to Savannah. Or actually to teach in Georgia again. All right, so I got my Georgia certificate back, and Savannah Chatham County school system was having a job fair. And I applied to come back via the job fair and was told by the personnel director at that time, her name was Cindy Cobbler, that I wasn't allowed back in the district. True story. And so I couldn't apply. It actually was the strength of one lady, Miss Irene Hines, who was on the school board then, and the wisdom of Dr. Lockamy to do the tough work necessary to say, okay, we know what his past was. We know what he's gone through. He's fulfilled all the prerequisite requirements to come back. Dr. Hines, Irene Hines was able to get me into a conference with Dr. Lockamy. Dr. Lockamy then said, well, and it was a conversation just like you and I are having.
Right.
It wasn't even a formal interview. It was just a conversation.
Chopping it up.
Right. And Dr. Lockamy said, well, I know all of what transpired. If I call Virginia Edwards right now, what would she say? And, I went out on a limb because I used to be a science teacher under her at one time before she was superintendent. I said, well, she would say that, I'm a great science teacher and to give me an opportunity to return. I know Virginia would call me and say, Utaff, you make me look bad on this one, I'm going to choke you personally. That's what she would always call me, Utaff. But anyway, and I love that lady, to this day, because she had to make a hard decision. The decision to reference my circumstance up to the Professional Standards Commission, where they ruled on revoking my certificate. That was hard for her.
Right.
But she had to do what she had to do.
Right.
So, that's actually it. I was knocking on the door to come back, and I wasn't given that opportunity initially. Right. And it took some brave people and some tough circumstances to afford me an opportunity to come back. And I guess you can say the rest is history.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
So other than, I know you are part of the Savannah shootout in the Savannah Hoops tournament.
Right.
That's been given on at the arena, in-market arena.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, do you have anything going on? Do you have any events coming up? Do you have something moving, something in the works? Because I feel like you do. I feel like you keep something in the works.
Okay.
I just want to know if we're privy to that.
All right. In January 2025, I'll be the newly elected chairman of the Savannah Recreation Commission at the Department of Leisure Services and for the city of Savannah. So that. And also, I'll be going to Atlanta on July 11th because there's a group called BTC. That's short for Beyond the Court. And what they're doing is they're awarding a community service award, which they're naming in my honor.
Come on,
And
man.
so,
Come on, man.
yeah.
Come on.
So I'm looking forward to this new year, and I'm really looking forward to working with this Recreation Commission to get some initiatives going on. We have a strategic plan. It's a laundry list of items. And like I said, I really wanted to ensure that I work towards building a relationship between the city of Savannah, Savannah-Chatham County Board of Ed, and the county of Chatham. Because I envision us having a sports complex here in Savannah, synonymous to what they have in Atlanta. And that's for all the constituencies. The Golden Age folks, we can have an area where they can enjoy their events and their activities.
That's cool. That is really
We
cool.
can have a big track inside the sports complex. We can have a series of basketball courts where we can hold a large tournament in the Southeast. We can have a weight training facility. But all of this is aspirational, I know, but it's also doable.
Right.
And so I'm committed to that.
With you doing so much for student athletes,
Right.
I'm sure that a lot of people and parents and the athletes, student athletes themselves, I'm sure that they would like to tell you thank you.
Yes. Well,
And so on their behalf, I want to say thank you. Thank you.
well,
thank you.
I'm humbled and I'm appreciative. Believe me, Rick. I'm humbled and appreciative. My man.
All right, so let's talk a little bit. One of my favorite questions to ask people is, what do you think, what would you say is one of the greatest songs ever written? I don't really care the genre, just one of them.
Oh, What's Going On by Marvin Gaye.
Come on.
I mean, the whole album.
Come on.
Yes, that's it.
One of the songs I think is one of the greatest songs ever written is Simply Beautiful by Al Green.
Okay.
Simply Beautiful. A couple of artists redid it. Maxwell here more recently redid it, and he paid homage to it.
Hey, let me say, you made me think of something else. There's a song by Stevie Wonder that Jennifer Holliday sang.
Mm-hmm.
It's called All Is Fair in Love.
All is fair.
Boy, that song give me goosebumps when I hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, and it's a litany of songs that
I
can
love
really-
music. I think when people do a remake and they have it their own, but you know enough that it was respected, excuse me, that they did the original artist justice. Layla Hathaway redid Angel by Anita Baker.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Then not only did she do the song and do the song justice, but she started referencing the way she composed it. She started referencing other Anita Baker songs and albums inside the song.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man.
Boy, that really takes a gift.
Yeah.
You got to have a gift, and you have to have a sense of history in order to be able to do that, And I'll even give some of the young artists some credit, with their rap music, because they're not dummies.
Not
Some of these guys have a sense of history, and they pay homage to their forefathers in
sample.
that game. Yeah,
It's about the sample.
man.
So my son-in-law was listening to a song. I was listening to a song, "Sailing" by Christopher Cross,
Okay,
written in
I remember
'71.
that. Yeah.
And so he came up on me and he was like, he just used camouflage music, the rapper Camouflage. I said, no, look at this. This song was written before Camouflage's mother was born.
Hey,
It's like, I didn't know.
I remember I used to have to tell my son about Dr. J sampling Parliament Funkadelic.
Yes.
And now remember, I came up through that Funkadelic genre. As a matter of fact, Funkadelic used to come to South Carolina State.
Really?
Like
Bootsilla,
every,
baby.
Bootsy, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
EWF.
I saw them all. They used to come every month. Somebody was coming to South Carolina State.
Wow.
Man, yeah, that was a golden age in my life for music, certainly.
Play any instruments?
No.
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 No?
Only instrument I played was when we was up in the dorm late at night beating on the doggone bottles or something like that. Yeah, making music while music was playing. But no, I'm not an instrumentalist.
All right, so I'm going to give you 2 genres. Pick one. You ready?
Okay.
Jazz or R&B?
Jazz.
I'm stuck
Jazz.
because I love jazz. I
Man,
love
look.
jazz so much. My daughter is named Jasmine
Okay.
with the Z.
Well, look, I get in my car sometimes. I put that miles on, especially if I got a long ride. Hey, kind of blue.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Boney James the Pure album, or Boneyism.
Man.
So I dabble in music a little bit. I play at a few instruments. I'm not
Okay.
good at any, but I play at a few. So one of the coolest things was we went to see Boney James in Charlotte with some friends years ago, and I saw what blew me all the way away. Because growing up around musicians, I know that a bass player plays bass. And I know that a keyboard player plays keyboard. And I know that a guitar player plays a guitar. But during this show,
He played them all.
no, his band's there. 25% of the way of the program, they stop. The bass player goes and get on the keyboard. The keyboard player goes and get on the saxophone. The saxophone player go get on drums. They did that 3 times. How is that? That meant your whole band knows how to do everything.
All right, well, watch this. Boy, I used to love Return to Forever, where you had Stanley Clarke, Chick Corea, Lenny White, and Al Di Meola. There's a song called The Romantic Warrior.
Really?
Hey, man, Stanley Clarke does a number
Could you
one
find that
job.
and text that to me?
He does a number one job on that bass. It's called Romantic Warrior by Return to Forever. Man, let me tell you, Big Rick, you're going to love it.
Listen.
You're going to hit me back up on the text and say, yeah, this the ace.
I'm going to give you one, too. It's called Thunder. Stanley Jordan, Stanley Clarke, and Victor Wooten. No, Marcus Miller, Stanley Jordan, and Victor Wooten.
Okay.
It's called Thunder. And they just...
Okay.
Oh, my
Hey, how about this? Now we just start talking music, y'all. How about Earth, Wind, and Fire, Zanzibar?
I don't know if I heard that
Boy,
one.
you got to hear that.
Send that to me before I
Earth,
forget
Wind, and
to.
Fire, Zanzibar.
Is it even possible
Yeah.
to go wrong with an EWF song?
No.
It's not possible.
Impossible.
It's a couple of people
You
that
can't even go wrong with any of the albums, let alone any singular song.
It's some people you just
Can't go wrong.
EWF, man, like they changed the game. I'm just fell in love with the full band, the live band. It's just
Hey, I remember at South Carolina State one year, they came to perform. I'm sitting with my wife today, right? I'm sitting with her. We sitting at the back of Smith Hammond Middleton Auditorium. The bass player, Verdine White.
Verdine White.
He playing the bass. He's inside of a column on the right side of the stage. It's a big explosion. Boom! Then another explosion on the left side of the stage. Seconds after now, boom! And he come out that side
Feel it
playing the bass guitar.
Really? So he exploded from one side. Oh man.
Hey, that's one thing. The next thing is this. Parliament Funkadelic. They were playing Maggot Brain. All the lights went out. And then there was one spotlight on one person. He had the Grim Reaper's cloak on and that guitar playing Maggot Brain. And man, it was almost as though the guitar notes were going through your bones. that was just such a significant moment in time that I remember. Those two performances, Vernon White blowing up on one side and
Coming
then
up
blowing
on the
up on
other.
the other side, and then that guitar player for Funkadelic playing Maggot Brain.
Man.
Those two were seared into my brain.
They locked in. They're gonna be locked in my head now because as soon as we get out of here, I'm checking them out.
Yeah, check Maggot. Hey, send him Maggot Brain by Parliament Funkadelic.
Yeah, man, I can't.
Yeah, but hey, everything that I referenced to you, you gonna say, "Oh yeah." Hey, you gonna think I'm a musician?
Well, I'm gonna send you a couple. Hopefully, you like mine.
Oh yeah.
But listen, Coach.
Yeah.
Please tell the people how they can get in touch with you if anybody want to get in touch with you for anything that you're doing.
Okay. You can reach me via email at coachghoops23@gmail.com. I'm going to repeat. coachghoops23@gmail.com.
Listen, tell me what else you gonna find? Where else can you find a legendary coach giving out his number on who podcast? Clever Conversations, baby.
That's it.
Clever Conversations. That's what we doing over here. We are doing it, man. Coach, man, I do thank you of your time. I thank you for giving me. I know you busy and I know you got to run. And just thank you again for taking time out and coming and chopping it up with your boy, man. I really appreciate that.
Hey, and if y'all allow me, when I leave here, I'm on my way to First AB because Sheriff Coleman's inauguration starts at 4:00. So if you can make it,
Make it.
make it.
Please give the sheriff
Oh yeah,
my love.
I'm gonna hit him up.
Please give him my love.
Personally, you gonna get it.
Tell him I'm waiting for him to sit down right here.
Hey, I'm gonna tell him that too.
Tell him I'm waiting for him to sit down.
Hey, it'll happen sooner than you think.
You heard it. That's all I need. That's all. Hey, man, so listen at the Clever Conversation podcast. Y'all know we like to end every show by reminding people 2 fingers, 1 love. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, share. Like, comment, subscribe, share. 2 fingers, 1 love. We out here, baby. Peace.
Peace.